everyone, and welcome to Tinfoil Tuesday. Sorry about the sound. I don't know why it's doing it. I thought I turned that off. Let me see if I can figure that out. I apologize. We're on a hype train, though. Thank you, everyone, for the things that have gotten us on a hype train so far. Rick M, thanks for 22 months, says, I was just listening to Jon Stewart interview Pete Buttigieg. I never know how to pronounce his name, I'm sorry. I hear he's your next door neighbor. I guess he lives in Michigan now. Does he? Huh, I didn't know that. Hey, Nemesaur. Altered Undying says, hype train for Hannah because my former as of yesterday family doctor is a huge Karen who I told my ADHD meds were not working, and she then said I was all over the place and hung up on me. Oh, yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. I am very sorry. Maybe time for a new doctor. Icky Neko, thanks for 21 months, says old enough to know better. Nemesaur, thanks for 10 tier 1 subs. Altered Undying with 100 bits says, I'm so angry, here are more bits. Thanks for the bits. Carbcosian with a 10 stream streak says, I did it, fear me. I am very, very scared. Congrats. Hi everyone on YouTube, how's it going? I did fix the title. It didn't update on YouTube like it was supposed to, so it said my last stream title for a little bit, unfortunately. But I fixed it now. The fish outfit won today, so that's cool, I guess. And I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else really going on. Oh, the reason I'm streaming early today is because the roof people are coming later to finish up the work they started the other day. And they're coming around 5, and I can't work with them, you know, banging above here. There's also roof on ceiling work they're doing in here because there was a leak. So that's why we're early today. Thank you for bearing with me. I do have to work all day tomorrow, so I won't be streaming tomorrow, but after that I have a week where I don't work. So I'll be able to do streams almost every day except for Monday because that's electrolysis. So I apologize, I've been so spotty on streaming this first half of the month. I promise I'll be better the second half. I worked less, so I'll have a lot more time to focus on this, which is always a lot more fun, to be frank. So that's good. We have all sorts of weird conspiracy stuff to take a look at today. Very excited. Should be lots of fun. Moira Soma, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. I appreciate ya. Freyline says, I'm back from the wilderness, and I have never wished to go back so soon. If I have to go to jail or fist fighting a logger or ice, I'll be mad, but at least my parents will be proud, at least. 51% to level 5. What a nice hype train so far. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate the gift subs, subscriptions, bits, everything. What else? What else? Hey, Just a Peach, how's it going? If you could, if you're on YouTube, like the stream. I forget if I said that. Thumbs up helps. Commenting also helps. If you see this video later as a VOD, maybe leave a comment, even if it's just to say hi. Mr. Duck Sauce, thanks for a 3 stream streak, says, oh no, not him again. Yes, Terrence Howard had another quite interesting appearance on a podcast. I really wish people would stop platforming him, I say hypocritically. At least I'm pushing back on it. I wish people would stop platforming him, allowing him to just spout his bullshit without being like, hey, no, please seek help. I find him interesting because I think I've said this before. It seems like there's a level where it's really dangerous to be mentally ill, and that's when you're very poor or very rich or famous. Because when you're poor, you don't have resources available to you. And when you're very wealthy, you are surrounded by yes men, and no one can tell you, hey, I think you might be experiencing mental illness. Please seek help. Because if they say that to you, you fire them because they're your employee. Toreador, thanks for a 3 stream streak, says, my biddies, ooh-woo. Oh, you got me to say ooh-woo. That's a shame. So yeah, we should have fun today. We are going to play Tinfoil Bingo, so if you want, make sure you get your bingo card ready. And yeah, should be good. Don't forget, this upcoming Sunday, 420 is going to be the 420 6-hour stream that you guys got for reaching the tip goal this last month. So we'll be doing a 6-hour tinfoil stream where we play bingo, and every time we get a bingo space, he'll have to take a hit of a THC vape. It's a 420 stream. You get it. Kind of like a drinking game, except it's vaping drugs. But yeah, I think that's everything. Cool beans. We're still on a hype train. Yeah. You're just watching the first Iron Man. It was weird seeing him. It was probably weird hearing him be coherent. How are we celebrating martial law? By getting absolutely blasted out of this dimension so we don't have to act like reality is real. Who's with me? Anyway, so yeah, that'll be good. We'll keep our mind off horrifying reality that day, maybe, by watching other people be delusional. Kind of like the transitive property of delusion. I don't know. Real Lotus Eater energy? I've still not seen Lotus Eater. I've heard it's good. I've heard. Not seen it yet. I've also not seen the Righteous Gemstones. I've heard is great. Love that fucking Walter Goggins. Walter Goggins. So hot right now. Genuinely great, though. You guys see Fallout? I liked Fallout. Excited for Season 2. Smoke weed every Easter. Very true. If Jesus didn't want me to get high, why did his dad invent marijuana? Checkmate, Christians. Anyway, 30 seconds left on the hype train if you want to contribute to that, and then we'll get right into the tinfoil. May set a record for rum consumption. Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. Toreador with 50 bits says, I don't know what you were referring to. I was referencing Homer's Iliad with the Lotus Eaters Island. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about there's a show. No, I'm thinking of White Lotus. I was thinking of the show White Lotus. Sorry. I'm not as familiar with the classics as I once was. Also, the Odyssey is better. Anyway, so, cool beans. Thanks for the hype train, everyone. Let's see what emote I got from this hype train. Oh, it's like a crown. That's mine. Yoink. Cool beans. Alright, so without further ado, let's jump into it, shall we? I don't know what we're gonna watch first, but, it'll be weird. Oh, let's check out this guy. You might recognize, these two from the MedBed business grift that we've been talking about lately. I was perusing their channel, and they did this interview with the guy in the top left, who is just an absolute grifter in his own right. It's kind of hilarious. So let's go ahead and listen to his tall tale, shall we?
Check this out. So here's my website. It's called The Promise Revealed, and you'll notice that, well, actually, I'll just share this here. This book is called The Promise, and I'm the one that titled that. We went to the Moody Blues, and they said they were talking to us, and you know, they had an album called The Promise, and we're talking, you know, spaceships are landing, you know, very nearby. We're meeting them, and so they had a bunch of different things. They had like an album, Every Good Boy Deserves a Favor, and shows a wise old man holding a crystal. So when Fred came out with his Rays of Truth, they went back.
What was that sentence?
A bunch of different things. They had like an album, Every Good Boy Deserves a Favor, and shows a wise old man holding a crystal. So when Fred came out with his Rays of Truth, I went backstage and I handed them the books with a crystal. I said, every good Moody deserves a favor. So we were hanging out with the Moodies, and so the guy said, I said,
Consider
anyway,
the orb pondered.
So I said, that's The Promise. And so Fred took that in his head, and that was the title of the book, about Fred and I, and a loose fictional account of his contact. So Steven Spielberg came to our booth and learned about the receptor, and that's how Indiana Jones was started.
He claims that a book that he co-wrote with this guy was secretly stolen from for Raiders of the Lost Ark. You see the kind of liar he is? You ever, a little Tommy Tallarico-esque, the kind of con artist who's like not just someone who lies, but they lie about ridiculous things. You know what I'm talking about? This is that kind of guy who claims that Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, forgot George Lucas was involved in Raiders of the Lost Ark, I guess, stole the idea for Indiana Jones from him, which is insane anyway, because Indiana Jones is already a riff on, like, old adventure serials from, like, the 40s, the 30s and 40s. Like, no, you did not invent Indiana Jones, you goddamn liar. What a strange lie to tell.
That story is loosely based on the Promise book. It's a fictionalized
Wow.
account. So
Wow.
that crystal that the German got burned into his
They say, wow, wow, I believe you. That's incredible. That's incredible.
it's a fictionalized
Wow.
account.
It's supposed to be every good boy does fine, and that covers the 5 lines of the treble clef. Oh, I always heard it as every good boy deserves fudge. Every good boy deserves fudge.
So that crystal that the German got burned into his hand that showed where the ark was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's this device here.
He's pulling a necklace out. I know you can't see it, but he's pulling a necklace out and claiming that it's the thing that got burnt into fucking... Not Belloc. Belloc was the other evil archaeologist. The German! The German's hand!
The nuclear
Wow.
receptor.
Why do I not... His face gets melted at the end. Why am I... What's the name of the German from Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark? I know it's just called Raiders of the Lost Ark. Sorry. Not Hitler! Hitler's in the 3rd one.
Wow.
That's on my
Fritz? Is it actually Fritz?
website here. So it
Does
has
he never get a name? Is he just nameless Nazi man? That's fine.
a hole in the back and everything that goes
Just surprising, because he has, like, a lot of dialogue. Arnold Ernst Taut? Okay, that's not a memorable name.
through the crystal. So a lot of interesting stuff there. So this is the website here. I have a summer conference. We're just getting ready to launch. It's a 6-day event. Tickets are $500. We're going to be launching 3 days.
Tickets are $500. He's doing an event where tickets are $500 a person. Very reasonable. Benekagami says, hot take, time travel is a terrible storytelling trope unless it's basically other world setup. The reason for that is it basically always needlessly complicates the story and creates a massive plot hole in the form of either the grandfather paradox or some bullshit fate narrative that's really more the character refuses to change. I have the same problem with prophecies. The narrative tries to be about fate, but is usually about self-fulfilling prophecies. I can respect your position. Time travel, science fiction, or time travel, they tend to be under science fiction. There are plenty of fantasy time travel stories, but usually they're under science fiction, is my favorite subgenre of science fiction. I love time travel. As you all know, I'm not going to gesture behind me in order to preserve a bingo space, so I would have to disagree. I love time travel stories. Sometimes there's always going to be some sort of plot hole. I don't disagree. Time travel ends up getting messy. The only one I can think of that's probably close to not being plot hole ridden is Primer. And that's more a movie that's interesting because the premise is almost, let's try and make the most realistic, grounded time travel story we can, you know? It's not the most entertaining outside of that, but it is an interesting movie that I enjoy. I don't know. I think you're thinking about it too literally. Normally, time travel stories aren't necessarily about the literal dynamics of the plot. They're about telling some story within that trope. Like Back to the Future, for instance, which is just a comedy, but, like, let's use it as an example because it's probably the most famous time travel movie of all time. Back to the Future, sure, it has plot holes, but it's not the point. It's a story about someone meeting their parents when they're the same age and seeing, you know, how they were different, how decisions we make when we're very young change our entire lives. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter that it isn't entirely internally consistent. What matters is it's telling a good story that resonates with people. You can poke holes in any story, time travel or not. Imperfect Rebus says, Primer mentioned checks of off personal bingo.
Friday, Saturday, and
Or even like something like Bill and Ted. Bill and Ted works with, uses those sort of plot holes almost as a joke, as a gag. Those are some of the best gags in those movies. It's when they're like, and after all this is over, we'll leave the keys right there. And here they are. Like, it's, Stone Corbell, thanks for 58 months. What the fuck? I thought I turned that off. Why is it not turned off? Stop it. Get some help. Hold on, let me see if I can get rid of these again. Why is it doing the noises? I wanted it to stop doing the noises. We might just be stuck with those for now. That would be funny.
Sunday.
Stone Corbell, thanks for 58 months.
Probably for $275, and then 3 days for $350, Friday, Saturday, and Monday. So that's
I probably would be interested in that, Carpcosian.
An interesting event. So what I want to do is I want to take you up.
This doesn't count for the space because I'm being asked directly, do I have Back to the Future on Blu-ray? Yes, I have the trilogy in 4K. I also have Back to the Future, the animated series, on DVD. Doesn't count for the space. MSTB89, thanks for 46 months, says, whooshing, test to see if this is still making noise. Seems like it stopped, so that's good.
Here, I'm going to share another screen so you can read about the products. This is a great video. I was on television. I don't want to play that and violate any copyrights, but I have a link to it. And these are the products that you were talking about that you're going to be selling.
Oh, he sells these goddamn scam pyramids. We've seen these pyramids be sold by a variety of these woo-woo people. I assume they just get mass-produced in some sweatshop, you know, in Vietnam or something, and then shipped to the United States, dropship style. He's going to claim he invented them, though, because, you know, he's a con artist.
Soon. There's the watch. These are the various pyramid products that I'm the only one on the planet, and Seth, I trained him how to make these products.
Wow, that's crazy that he's the only one that knows how to make them, even though he clearly didn't make them and bought them somewhere. Thanks, Spokane Dogman. Scamming shilling on the bingo card.
And Seth does a great job, but so he's finishing up another version for me of products. I don't want to make this too much of a sales call, but I'm going to share with you now.
I don't make this too much of a sales call, but how much more shit can I shill to your audience?
If I can, I want to share with you some other images. So you talked about Laguna Beach. So I'd like to share with you now that this little thing that I'm doing coming up here real soon for anybody who's located in California or near Sedona, Arizona. Here's a fun little tour I'm going to be doing. In the first 2 weeks of April, I'll be leaving here on the 3rd, heading down to San Francisco. And the wonderful Dr. Raymond Keller, who lived on Venus for 2.5 months, and
he lived on Venus for 2.5 months. How much oxygen did he bring with him? Venus's atmosphere is toxic.
Explain a little bit about that. I kind of want to get through this, but we're going to be speaking at the UFO Con from 4 through 6. It's quite reasonable. I think the prices go up on the 1st. So if this gets out in time, you want to buy your tickets. It's only like $139 for.
It's a lot cheaper than his event. Again, his event was $500, and that's just his event. This event that's a whole UFO conference is $130. Makes his event seem like a total ripoff.
For 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then we're going to go down to Laguna Beach, right below Fred's house. And I'm hoping we can get a hold of Scott. I'd love for him to come.
I will. I'll get you in touch with him. I will try to reach out to him after this call and give him your information, because I'm sure he would love to go. It's
going to be on the 8th, 5 to 8 p.m. at the old, at the new Laguna Beach Recreation Department. It used to be the old St. Catherine's. We're going to be in their facilities there. Then we're going out to Giant Rock, California, in Joshua Tree. Most people don't know. There's a place called the Mental Physics. I think it's called something else now, the Retreat Center. But that was where Yogananda, my first 5 minutes.
It's going to be an absolutely phenomenal way for you.
Jesus, get past the shilling.
601 worlds and 51 solar systems in our quadrant of the galaxy. So we have a solar council, and the Queen of Venus is not only the head of the Royal Council on Venus, but she's also the head of the Solar Council and the Galactic Confederation of Light, which includes Sirius A, B, C, Alpha Centauri, Proxima Centauri, Wolf 56.
I didn't vote for
Arcturus, and others. I'm asking them now my next series of questions. So this is George Adamski, who met this woman. She's the Queen of Venus. And there's a video and everything you can check out here. And then, so this is the moon base commander I met in a previous lifetime. Well, she takes an avatar, and this avatar is okay. By the way, there was a guy named Long John Nebel. He was the I gotta find it so it doesn't block her out. Here it is. This one here. The guy on the right is
Ryan Cooper with 19 months of membership on YouTube says there once was a woman from Venus.
Frank
No
Scully,
limericks allowed.
and the one on the left is Long John Nebel. And Frank Scully was famous for investigations. He wasn't working.
Okay, enough of the man from Venus. We can move on. Oh, did we want to do Terrence Howard? We should maybe do Terrence Howard and see how he's doing, huh?
You and I were speaking. We're going back and forth. And Pat, can you read this? Can you read that? His business card says physicist and spacecraft subsystem manager, spacecraft fluids and structure branch. In a minute, we're going to have him come in. He's been involved in a lot of different conversations. He knows Eric Weinstein. He's seen the conversation that you had with Eric Weinstein and with Rogan, which was great, the 4-hour one that you guys did. So we'll get into that here in a minute, okay? And I'll bring him on, and he'll grab a seat right next to him. We'll get into it. However, for the audience, if you don't mind, because the first time I heard about you going this direction, I'm a big fan of your work. When you came in, the first thing I said is the character, Harvey, what is it, Borden, from
Borden.
Fighting, right? The way you would speak, the way you would move. But this is the first time we saw you talking about you leaving Hollywood, Rob. If you want to play this clip, go for it.
Terrence Howard here. You made huge
Oh, look at the vest. He looks good in that outfit. Hey, he's a crackpot, but that's a good outfit for him, okay? I'm okay with that.
headlines when you said after you complete these 15 episodes of Empire, you got to walk away for a while or forever.
For good. I mean, everyone keeps trying to tell me, don't say it's forever.
What the fuck is that? Is that a cravat? What the fuck do you call that? God damn. It's so stylish.
But I've spent 37 years pretending to be people so that people can pretend to watch and enjoy what I'm doing when I've made some discoveries in my own personal life with the science that, you know, Pythagoras was searching for. I was able to open up the flower of life properly and find the real wave conjugations that we've been looking for 10,000 years. Why would I continue?
Like, am I crazy, or is it like a weird Black Mirror vibe watching people engage in earnest with him? Like, it feels like an awaking nightmare. Like, we're just allowing this severely mentally ill man to walk around and do interviews like he's normal and fine, when he's clearly, like, cracked and needs help and therapy and maybe medication, and just no one does anything about it, and it feels like an emperor has no clothes situation where it's just like you want to yell at the screen, why isn't anyone doing anything? Why isn't his agent or a family member pulling him aside and going like, Terrence, things are not okay.
You know,
I watched more Black Mirror over the weekend. I did. I finished season 6. Best, like, really great season. Solid season. Best season they've had in a couple years. Good stuff.
walking on water for
I say a couple years. It's actually been quite a break since the last season. Best in, like, the last 3 or 4 seasons. Very good.
tips.
It's impossible.
When
to
I
get around. So what got you to the point of being ready to say this to the world? Because this changed the game.
Well, we had introduced linchpin years before, and was talking about linchpin being the common factor, the universal constitution, but no one would take it seriously. We talked about this grand unifying supersymmetry.
Yeah, Veltwin brings up Kanye. It reminds me very much of the Kanye situation where it's like, yeah, like he's espousing racist shit and like his mental illness isn't an excuse, but it can be an explanation. Like, holy fuck, like if he was not a rich and famous person, he would be on the street rambling. Like he needs help. All of these people need to be forced into help, and just like we don't do that, I guess, now as a society. I don't what? Fennikagami says, of course, PPD, a Trump bro podcast, is platforming Terrence. We're like a week away from him getting a job at like some part of the federal government.
Of the linchpin, that it showed how the universe behaved.
Oh, we do, just to the poors. No, in my experience, poor people don't get involuntarily institutionalized. They get picked up on some sort of petty crime, put through the court system, put on probation, get caught for petty drug offenses, then get sent to prison for the rest of their life because they can't get out of the cycle and they're just used for prison slave labor till, you know, they're too far gone to be useful to the system. It's funny because life is horrifying and we live in a system that we can't do anything about that just gets worse and worse all the time.
In contractive or expansive places. We had showed the ubiquitous nature of linchpin. Nobody would take it seriously. So then we decided to let's now challenge the idea of gravity. And we, in comparison to a resonance model, like the universe is not based upon force, but based upon...
Imperfect Rebus says, would you say we live in a society?
On
my father was a drinker and a fiend.
Resonance, you know, but based upon harmonic frequencies. So we decided to...
Joker has never said we live in a society except in that one trailer for the Zack Snyder cut. Zack Snyder cut sucked, by the way.
Let's put
I will not be gaslit into pretending that something Zack Snyder did was good just because there was a worse version of it previously.
Linchpin in the proper place, and let's since we are saying that this is the common factor, that everything comes from it, let's put a number of linchpins in rotation and see if we can rebuild the planet Saturn. Well, we were able to do that without gravity, without dark energy, without...
Ryan Cooper with a $5 super chat says, Hannah does deny my great limerick surprise. Surprise? Surprise. That'd be two. My great limerick surprise. My great limerick surprise? That'll do it. Sadness is my name. Sadness is my name. We did it.
Dark matter. How can, and without animation, literally rebuild the planet Saturn in a simulation with the hexagon at the top of it. And we were like, okay, they will take this seriously. So when I went to we did this the day before I came to the Emmys. So I was just so excited to say, hey, we don't have to worry about this God gravity.
Side question, is there like a group of people grifting off Terrence or anything? Like, does he have someone in his ear that's like, yeah, Terrence, this is all a good idea. Just give me $10,000 today and we'll get that research done, Terrence. And then they go away and they come back tomorrow with some bullshit mock-up and they go like, yep, you were right, Terrence. We just need another $20,000 in more research funds to further this brilliant idea. And then they pocket that money too. You know what I mean?
You did what the day before?
Yes, that was a haiku, Icky Neko, but that was a haiku about how I wouldn't do the limerick earlier.
We had
a haiku about a limerick, or lack thereof. Lack limerick of.
The rebuilding the planet Saturn. That's
like Mike does? Yes. Like Mike Lindell in the Cyber.
At the very beginning of my book, the same thing.
His wife fuels his shit? Seriously? Oh, wow. What a terrible partner.
Same thing I showed on Joe Rogan.
Right.
And I'm like waiting for people to respond, but they immediately took it like, oh, he's crazy. He's talking about he's going to build the planet Saturn. No, I was rebuilding it in a simulator, the same way they've rebuilt planets or tried to rebuild the solar system or galaxies with dark matter, dark energy, and gravity. I was able to do it without that, and I thought that would mean something.
You think it means something because you're probably experiencing symptoms of something like schizophrenia that's lending you a feeling of substance to what you are feeling that isn't based in reality. You're feeling basically delusions of grandeur and a feeling of great significance tied to thoughts that are not significant. That's like textbook delusional like illness in this way. It's quite sad. Terrence is literally rich, famous time cube guy. Basically, yeah. Black's Law Dictionary request. You want me to look up gravity? Okay, I can do that.
I forgot you don't attack somebody's God. Gravity has been their God for a long, long time.
Who's God? The traditional scientists?
Science, all of the world. Gravity is their God.
Funny that he's saying that. That's something that a flat earther would say. I wonder if he's going to get into flat earth.
I'm on a set with you doing a movie, which you've been on many, many sets with some of the greatest actors of all time, and you're in the list of some of the greatest actors of all time yourself.
Is he? Is he? I keep hearing people, whenever he gets interviewed, talk to him, and it's like, okay, in fairness, I haven't seen Hustle and Flow, which seems to be the one people go to, and they're like, Hustle and Flow, Hustle and Flow. But, like, is he ever been that good? I don't know. He's not even in, like, the top 100, right? He's not in the top 500, probably. Ugh.
Would I meet this Terrence? Like, if we're sitting, we're not shooting, we're sitting, we're waiting for something, are you speaking to me like this or no?
This is the only Terrence there is. You know, I love acting. I love the emotional play associated with it. But what's more important right now than saving the planet, than saving the people on the planet, saving the animals on the planet, saving our entire solar system, we don't know what our responsibility is.
There is no gravity. Let's see what the closest I can get is. Gravis, grievous, great, ad grave, damnum, to grievous damage. What it says.
Cosmically, but we have to get past this reef right now. We keep getting pushed back to the beach by the desire to suppress and to control everything. So the only Terrence there is the one that's trying to change the world, that's trying to provide the free energy, that's trying to provide the new geometry that will allow us to fit with the universe instead of competing against the universe.
He always gestures at this geometry stuff. Like, it's literally like he thinks you can just, like, point at a shape and go, that's the answer. This shape is the answer. And it's like, Terrence, that doesn't mean anything. You're delusional. Your brain is pinging and going, this is significant, but it's not significant. This is delusion.
Which actors that you had conversations like this with were also interested and could hang with you?
Nick Nolte.
Nick Nolte?
Nick Nolte.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Great Nick Nolte.
Nick
wow.
Nolte, we've had wonderful conversations. We're doing a film called Investigating Sex in Germany. And
is he also going to mention, what's his name, Gary Busey? I bet Gary Busey and him would have great conversations.
And we spent 2 months having the deepest conversation. He actually inspired me to keep going further. Before, he was just talking about the B12 shots and how it affects your body.
Oh, Jesus!
But we had deep conversations. Jeff Bridges is an incredibly deep thinker. I would love to talk to Mel Gibson because Mel, I see his mind always jumping.
You haven't.
It's incredible that he does genuinely seem to admire the most crackpot assholes out there. That's a level of consistency that's honestly a little impressive. Horrifying in that he's so consistently tying himself to terrible people, but like, damn, I guess at least he's got precision going for him. That's pretty good.
I have never had the pleasure of meeting him.
You've
yet.
never met Mel Gibson?
Never met Mel Gibson.
Oh, that's an easy one to happen. I mean, it's a couple guys that know him could make the phone call.
Yeah, I enjoy his neurosynaptic reactions.
Meaning,
I really enjoy his neurosynaptic reactions. So, like, you just, like the things he says? You like his reactions? Trying to sound smarter than you are again, man. Come on.
The way he views the
thinks,
world from a
yeah.
different lens.
I love his rhythm of his mind, how it clicks. So people like that. But most people respond, in a quizzical way. But when you're challenging their status quo, when you're challenging, their basic arithmetic, because if you were to look at a grid of 1 times 1 equaling 1, it would be a straight grid going out with just boxes on a flat plane forever. Our universe doesn't behave that way. Our universe behaves by everything wrapping itself around, multiplies volumetrically. So what I've been talking about for the longest time is allowing our math to match what the physics work. What does the
Physics is math. Physics is math. They already comport. Because physics is basically math applied to real things, right? Physics is math applied to the physical world, and using it to make predictions about the physical world using models that we develop that, again, like, comport with the reality we see, and we can test those models against the reality to check them. So to say that, like, you need to somehow fix physics so it works with math belies a complete misunderstanding of what physics even is. Like, what is he talking about? Doesn't understand the scientific method on the bingo card?
world look like? How does it behave? We can't throw imaginary structures out there unless...
Why is he dressed like Marlon Brando in Isle of Dr. Moreau? I love that movie. love to watch that movie. It's maybe not the greatest, but it's certainly something.
Unless the real structures aren't making sense, and the structures that they have as straight lines, platonic...
This is a safe and quick cleanse. You can't unsee this. Oh, God. Oh, this is from the Beverly Hillbillies. Oh. I saw Jed Clampett's bulge, and I did not like it. I found his Texas tea.
Solids, they've been wrong from the beginning. Because there are no straight lines. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. The greater the action, the greater the reaction. The greater the reaction, greater the resistance. The greater the resistance, greater the curvature. Which means
the things he's saying don't make sense. They don't follow. So yes, when there is an action, there is a reaction, right? That's one of Newton's laws of motion. That's fine. But none of what he said after that follows in any way that makes sense. So no, he's just rambling nonsensically.
Means everything is curved. So measuring the universe with straight lines and with flat planes is an illogical and irrational...
Does he think that math only measures straight lines? Did he not take above elementary school math? There are formulas for graphing lines. There are formulas for curves. What are you talking about?
Thing to do if you're measuring curved, living, moving reality. And that is what they refuse to change. They've stopped believing that the world is flat, but they're still using flat mechanics to describe the universe.
No, they're not.
Okay, so you go on Rogan first podcast, you guys talk, and then that leads to you going back with Rogan, with Eric Weinstein, the 4-hour one that you guys did, right? And even, I think Neil deGrasse Tyson did a video reacting to all the stuff that you had. Brian Keating did as well. I asked Brian Keating about the one document that you sent to me. I forwarded to him, and he read it, looked through it, and, and I'll preface what he said, he's really trying to figure things out, going in the right. And he made a video talking about one area that he was wrong. I don't know if you've seen that video or not. Yeah. But he seemed very much willing to sit down and have the conversation. But, it almost seems like when even watching Weinstein, Eric, with you, it's like, look, we love what you're doing. And
But stop doing it.
Yeah, but stop doing it.
Been Kagami says it's scary how much MAGA overlaps with mental illness. A high school friend of mine whose MAGA had a mental breakdown where he kept going, I'm in a bad place, but everything's fine. Some people think I have schizophrenia, but buy life insurance from me. I'm all in on this Trump golden era is here. It's sad. I'm summarizing here. Yeah. Unfortunately, the MAGA stuff appeals to a lot of very fringe, in many cases ill people, desperate people. Not good.
Because peer review, you're not one of our peers. You're not qualified enough to get a peer review, but we'll give you an opinion on this, right? That was kind of like the establishment side towards you. What was your biggest takeaway after your 4 hours with Eric and Joe, and what's happened ever since?
Well, I gave Eric a great deal of grace. You know, he was a little rude and cut me off a lot of times, but that's the nature of being in a position of authority. I had hoped that he would evaluate.
STEM bros have broken this country. Excuse you, the humanities are for women and the gays.
Geometry,
Don't you know I can write an algorithm to fix everything in society? Systemic to the human fucking condition?
Gave him. I showed him. I went to his house 2 days later, and we had dinner, and I took buckets of proof of geometry.
Why is Lou Bega wearing a fancy hat over his hood? He's the protagonist in the new Assassin's Creed game.
Of all the linchpins and their configurations, all the wave conjugations and their configurations. The wave conjugations.
Assassin's Creed Miami.
So you understand, is the electric part of the world.
Freyline says, this gives me the same vibe as that guy who convinced Albert Einstein to genuinely look at his sex energy box. I'm sorry, what?
Is how plasma is the contractive part. All shapes are the expansive stuff that describes radiation's work. The linchpin is the constitution between the two. It's the friend. It's the translator between the big and the little. And I took all these things to his house. I thought he would evaluate them. I thought he would send them throughout his friends. And then I watched him go on Piers Morgan and literally say that 99% of everything I said was bathwater, was bullshit. The Howard comma.
He said that afterwards,
yeah,
or
he
pre
said
you guys
this,
getting on together?
He did this after our talk on Joe Rogan, but before our meeting when I went to his house. So I let that go, him saying that 99% of everything I was doing was bathwater. And then he said, the one thing that might be good is this linchpin. But he got there by a mistake, which I clearly showed that it wasn't a mistake, the 109.47. But he said that everything I did was just by accident and nothing had value. So we
Freyline with 40 bits and a link to a Wikipedia. This is the sex box. Orgone energy accumulator. The Orgone, it's Orgone, I see, is a pseudoscientific concept variously described as an esoteric energy or hypothetical universal life force, originally proposed in the 1930s by William Reich and developed by Reich's students Charles Kelly after Reich's death in 1957. Orgone was conceived as the anti-entropic principle of the universe, a creative substratum in all of nature comparable to Mesmer's animal magnetism, to the Odic force, or Kyle Reichenbach and to Henry Bergson's Elan Vital. Orgone was seen as a massless, omnipresent substance similar to the luminiferous aether, but more closely associated with living energy than with inert matter. It could allegedly coalesce to create organization on all scales, from the smallest microscopic units called bions in Orgone theory to macroscopic structures like organisms, clouds, and even galaxies. So they think it's this force that creates reverse entropy and brings things into order. The Force. They're claiming they think the Force is real. Terradona, thanks for 40 months. Reich argued that deficits or constrictions in bodily orgone were the root of many diseases, most prominently cancer, much as deficits or constrictions in the libido could produce neuroses in Freudian theory. Reich founded the Orgone Institute, California, 1942, to pursue research into orgone energy after he immigrated to the U.S. in 1939. He used it to publish literature and distribute materials relating to the topic for over a decade. Reich designated, or rather designed, special orgone energy accumulators, devices ostensibly collecting orgone energy from the environment, to enable the study of orgone energy and be applied to medically improve general health and vitality. Ultimately, the FDA obtained a federal injunction barring the interstate distribution of orgone-related materials because Reich and his associates were making false and misleading claims. A judge later ruled to jail Reich and ordered the banning and destruction of all orgone-related materials at the Institute after an associate of Reich violated the injunction. Reich denied the assertion that orgone accumulators could improve sexual health by providing orgastic potency. Well, that's beautiful. Okay, where are we? Okay.
We were able to take the Howard comma, which is the resonance created from the linchpin. We were able to take the tetryon wave conjugations, which is the shape of the fractal in itself. Mm-hmm. And we were able to take the Myrdal shapes and literally rebuild the entire world the way that, according to, well, not rebuild the world. We've been able to take those same things that he called bathwater and apply them to the three-body problem and solve.
No, you haven't. You have not solved the three-body problem. Shut up. Sorry, that one's so stupid. Terrence, I'm begging you, if you think you've solved the three-body problem, okay, I'm going to give you 3 bodies in outer space, and I want you using your formula for the 3-body problem, solve it. And then I'm going to give you a separate set of 3, and you're going to use that same formula to do it again. Okay? Can you do that? I'm guessing you can't. The 3-body problem. So Italian Shakespeare with question marks. The 3-body problem is a problem in physics where basically we have standard equations for determining like the motions of like 2 bodies of whatever particular masses, but there's no standard equation for 3 or more bodies. So if you have 3 or more entities, whether they be planets or asteroids or whatever, and you're trying to figure out, you know, what their paths are going to be, you have to do it for each individual set of objects. There is no standardized equation. So that's the 3-body problem, is that we have not come up with some sort of standardized equation for the motions of bodies in space, 3 and above. Basically, each one is a distinct, discrete problem. All right. And he's claiming he solved it, which would be like, that's like an age-old problem in physics. So he's basically claiming he's a fucking super genius who solved a problem no one in physics can do.
Of a 300-year-old problem that Newton couldn't solve, that Poincare couldn't solve, because they needed a finite space, they needed curved multiplication, they also needed to reimagine how the prime numbers behave. They needed to understand that gravity was just an effect of electricity. But how could we...
It's not that at all.
...take the things he said was bathwater and solve the biggest problems in math and in physics, when he said it had no physical application, no chemistry application, no application towards mathematics. But we solved all the biggest problems with it, and that's why...
You're claiming it, Terrence. You are claiming you did that. Now prove it.
I gave it to you ahead of time and asked you to run it through your AI.
Yeah, and we did...
Use this AI on the bingo card. I can prove my nonsense is real. Run it through the word calculator. The world is just worse every day. I just wake up and the world is worse than the one I went to sleep in. How fun.
Did that. I guess the most basic one, okay? So if I go to someone like you who's an outsider coming in...
Harold Ebbleman says, before you get back into this horse shit, could you quickly save this guy to your list for later? He's doing an in-person in this one, but he's also a whole channel. Let me see. 9/11 and the birth of Christ. Oh, Rob Skiba. He's dead. This guy died. I can save it. But I don't think he's going to produce any new content anytime soon. But I guess we could watch some of his old stuff. But yeah, he's been dead for 2 or 3 years.
In the scientist world, right? The mathematics world, and you make certain claims. First question the academia is going to ask is, what is your qualification? What is your education? Where did you go to? And it seems like some of these guys came out and said, well, that school this, the school that, I don't know which one it was, South Carolina or whatever it was, the school, the degree, all this stuff. Okay.
Yeah, because I went to, went over to South Carolina University, and I took them over the, at the time I had a company where we were growing diamonds through, not high pressure, high temperature, but through chemical vapor deposition. And the conversation...
Wasn't he anti-vax and died of COVID? I actually don't remember. I don't want to say that for sure without the knowledge in front of me.
I was having with them.
It was around that time, but I don't know.
They were talking about giving me an honorary degree. It should have been in chemistry, because that's the stuff that we were doing. We were transmuting one thing into another thing.
Okay, Terrence, just because you paid a company that was doing artificial diamonds, which, by the way, you didn't invent that. Does Terrence think the company he invested in invented artificial diamonds? Those have been a thing for a while.
So when I went...
I like that he was given an honorary degree and he thinks he gets to decide what it's in. Like, you're already getting, like, a nice little thing. It doesn't really mean anything. You're not really going to get anything with your honorary degree, but you can put it up on a wall or just think it's a cool thing. And he's like, no! This should be in chemistry! Parents, you haven't accomplished anything in chemistry. Why would they give you an honorary degree in it?
And on that other show, and I had my... honorary degree that was given to me. I had no idea it was in humanities. I thought...
Yeah, it's in the humanities because that's what your job is. That's why people know you, is for your work as an actor. That's why people recognize you. No one would be listening to this bullshit about your fake fucking math if you weren't in Iron Man. I'm telling you that right now. He could have still been in Hustle and Flow. If he wasn't an Iron Man, no one would be platforming this nutbag.
It was going to be in the thing that I went to talk to them about.
So to them, so to say you don't have a PhD from South Carolina, it's an honorary, right? So it's not like, okay. So to act...
Why are places giving honorary degrees? Feels like that shouldn't be a thing. They're not like... They don't hold the weight of a normal degree. It's just like oh, you have accomplished great things in this field. It's like it's just like a little thing of like, we recognize that you have done things. And usually they'll give it if you like go and speak. You're like a keynote speaker at a college or something. It's not a big deal. It's basically just a thing to put on the wall.
To the folks who went to school to see all these different theories, what do they tell you when they explain it to you? What do they say because right now I just went online and I typed in, which scientists agree with Terrence Howard, okay? And mainstream scientific response, Howard's views are widely rejected by academic and scientific communities.
Oh my god, he's using fucking ChatGPT on his show? That's so fucking embarrassing. He can't even have his own goddamn opinions or look things up himself. He needs to fucking ask. Is this where we're going? We're just watching content of people asking AI questions? You're an interviewer! Interview, you cunt! What should I ask my guest? ChatGPT, what questions should I ask my guest? Fucking idiot.
His interpretation of math and physics are generally considered mathematically incorrect, scientifically unfounded, right? Independent and fringe thinkers, they gave some folks that are from on the YouTube side that do. Why the rejection? Claims 1 × 1 = 2. And that's the most basic one, right? Where it starts from there. And it goes to some of the other theories that you guys have spoken about. Help me understand how, in your mind, to the average person who hasn't put amount of time that you have put in, credibility after 1 times 1 times 2, 1 times 1 equals 2. How do you come up with that conclusion?
Well, if I was wrong, then they wouldn't have made such a big stink about it. But the fact that I was able to show them with their calculator.
Am I forgetting that guy talking to his robot in his car? This isn't new. But Peter's just some random guy. Peter basically has the brain of like a 13-year-old boy. Like, I almost don't even blame Peter. He was raised in a cult. He's incredibly, like, mentally and emotionally stunted by growing up in a cult. Like, I get that. It's wrong and it's sad, but I kind of get it. He's just some guy. This guy has a show. This guy has 2.5 million subscribers on YouTube. This video has 1 million views. This is not some random fucking guy. This guy is the host of a relatively popular fucking program. You see the difference?
That because they have 1 times 1 equaling 1.
Right.
An action times an action without a reaction. And as a result of it, you get this contradiction with the square root of 2 being cubed, having the same
I've not seen that
value as the square root of 2 times 2, which should say a red flag, a herring right away that there's something wrong with the mathematics, with that being the problem that leads into the distribution of prime numbers, because the number 2, any prime number that you subtract from another prime number always is going to end up in a composite number. But except with the case of the number 2. That's the only prime number that you subtract from another prime number and you end up in a prime number. Why? Because the prime number 2 is a composite number. But they've changed that by trying to force that into a prime because they wanted 1 times 1 to equal 1, and the square root of 2 being 1.414, they say that times itself will equal. So it's all convoluted. None of their stuff makes sense. If I was a student, a mathematical student or a calculus student or an algebraic student, and I come in and I show a proof where okay, 1 times 1 equals 1, and the proof of this is the square root of 2 having a contradiction with being cubed and multiplied by 2, that's a loop. Hi, everyone. My name is Terrence Howard. I'm an actor, but in the field of science also. So if you would like to connect with me, you can connect with me on Minect. The QR code is down below. And
what the fuck is Minect? Nikigami says, all I'm getting from this is rich assholes need to stop being given participation trophies. They just get an overinflated sense of accomplishment. In this case, Terrence is actually probably ill. So we got exacerbating factors there, for the record. Devin, thanks for following on Twitch.
Let's have a great conversation.
Okay, so then let me ask you
That's a problem.
So then what's 1.1 times 1.1?
I don't know.
Is it bigger than 2?
It would have to be. Anytime action times an action has to increase in volume.
No, but so if 1 times 1 is 2, that would mean that 1.1 times 1.1.
Overthought with 75-bit says, my neck, my back. I must prevent myself from finishing the song. Nikigami says, the 2 extremes of mental illness, unhoused and Trump administration officials. True.
Need to be bigger than 2, right?
It would have to be. Why wouldn't it be? It's only the mathematics that they're using, the identity principles, which I call the Jim Crow laws of mathematics. That's the thing.
Hannah puts her head in her hands on the bingo card. These fucking numbers are so racist. You're so right, Overthought.
That holds them back because they want to keep things back into a balanced place. They want, instead of allowing the expansion that happens with most numbers, they just want to.
Why was 6 afraid of 7? The 7 was part of the local chapter of the KKK. We disavow 7.
They just want to get back to a
even
repeat.
For a basic, simple guy like me. Like, let's just say if I have $1.10 in a stock, okay, and that goes up 1.1%. What is it? $1.10 in a stock, but it goes up 1.1%. Rate of return and my stock portfolio, what's 1.1 of $1.10?
Look it up on the calculator.
It's a buck.
You're the math genius, Terrence. Are you telling me you can't do basic multiplication in your head? Wow, it's almost like you're not smarter than Einstein. It's almost like you're a dipshit on Dude Bro podcast on the internet where everything is fucking bullshit.
21. So for example, so if I get a 1% rate of return, on one,
it almost makes me also more upset that this dipshit can only do math if it's like in money terms. It reminds me in The Office when Kevin could only do math when it was related to like cheeseburgers.
Sorry,
I'm so finance bro-brained. Can we talk about stocks for a second?
If I do the percentage on the basic 1.1 times 1.1, it's still getting me 1.21. So to me, the basics of the 1 times 1 equals 2, that throws even a regular guy like me off.
Well, you've got to remember, in multiplying volumetrically, you're wrapping things back around.
Right.
Like in a swimming pool, the ripples go out, hit the edge, and then they come back. The returning wave.
Yeah, he did say 1.1 when he meant 1.01.
Are added to the expanding waves. Each returning wave is going to become multiplied even more. The pressure doesn't just expand out and keep going out, it's coming back. So you have to include the contraction. You have to include the returning wave. So that's why the volumetric would be different.
Always with the analogies. Yeah. I don't know if you know this. Physics isn't built on analogies. The math is load-bearing. All of the little, like, anecdotes and metaphors are to explain it to non-physicists. Physicists need math. That's what the physics is.
But like even with what you just did, like if I asked you what's 0.10 times 0.10, 0.10 times 0.10, it says 0.001, right?
Right.
But we know that 0.10 is a dime.
Okay.
We know that a dime times a dime, 10 dimes times 10 dimes equals
You can't multiply dimes. That's not how any of this works. You can't multiply a dime by a dime. You can multiply a dime by a quantity, by an amount, but you can't multiply one object by another object. This is where he always gets fucked up. He doesn't understand that in a multiplication problem, one number is the thing, and the other number is the quantity of that number of things. Or whatever. It could be even more abstract than that. But, like, he thinks that the numbers in the first part of the equation are the same thing. He can't think about it as just quantity. It must be apples or bananas, or it has to be a thing times another thing.
$1 should equal $1.
Not necessarily.
10 times 10.
No, I know what you're doing. But that is a whole number. A dime is still 10 cents. So 10 dimes is $1. So it's not the same in the dollar sense. I see what you're thinking, like 0.1 equals a tenth of $1.
I'm saying there's a problem with the decimal system.
Yeah, but if a dime is 0.1 of $1, right. Let's simplify it, right? But if you tell me...
Okay, I'm going to skip ahead because at some point I think they do actually bring in someone to talk to him who is better at this. I could be wrong. It is this podcast, so maybe he's also full of shit, but I guess we'll see.
Here. Okay. Dr. Yu, if you're back there...
Things together, that stuff.
Get him out here. Okay. So can we get Dr. Yu out here, Rob, if you don't mind?
Yes.
Can we get him out here? Okay. Dr. Yu...
I'm sorry. I know we're spending a lot of time on this. We'll be done with this soon.
If you're back there, please...
The full podcast is over 2 hours.
His energy is unbelievable.
I know.
Lennon Cat says, oh yeah, then how come when I had one rat and another rat, I multiplied them together, and by the end of the year, I had 60 rats? Wow. You have some virile rats.
I've
you
watched
are right here, sir.
Oh, look at him.
Okay. Great to have you. We met earlier. Pleasure having you on. So, Dr. Yu, if you don't mind, I have your business card here, okay? If you can take a moment, here it tells me Wei-Ping Yu, PhD, physicist, supercraft subsystem manager, spacecraft fluids, and structures branch. If you don't mind taking a moment and introducing your back.
Okay, his thing has a NASA logo, so assuming that's real, he's legitimate, so that's good.
Background, your experience, what you've worked on.
Okay. First of all, thank you for having me on. And it's great.
Hold on.
Oh,
Terrence
God,
wants to-
that's not okay. This feels condescending as fuck, like he's trying to take control of the situation by fixing this guy's tie. Fuck you, Terrence.
He's a perfectionist.
Yes,
Eight ties that are, I love tie being right. There.
Yes. My name is Wei-Ping Yu. I'm currently was employed by federal government, NASA.
Okay.
I'm the physics based on the training. I have a PhD in engineering physics, and I have did a lot of fundamental research. And
Oh no, this seems like a nice, relatively quiet, grounded guy, and he's on this bullshit podcast full of loud grifters. Oh,
I'm the founder.
I feel like we're about to see a microcosm of society at play.
of Qatari.
An intelligent, humble, soft-spoken, intelligent guy versus two loud dipshits. Who will win?
Yuan theory of everything. Try to bring the bridges between relativity and the quantum mechanics, and try to find out the unified theory of everything, just like linchpin theory, right?
Have you guys ever met before?
No.
This is the first time. This is very important for the audience to know. You guys have never met.
Never met.
And you
If flat earthers attacked Katy Perry for the space thing, yeah, they just think it's fake. Surprise.
You're currently working for NASA.
That's correct.
Okay.
I'm currently working for this, but let me make a disclaimer if you can. So all the views and the opinions expressed here represent purely on my own and does not reflect any of those of my employer, NASA.
Fantastic. And I appreciate you saying that. So, you know Eric Weinstein.
What did Katy Perry do? She went on another one of those flights with Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos' fucking space company.
Yes.
Have you guys spoken before? Have you guys met
Yes,
before?
Eric Weinstein called me, so we were talking about it on the phone for about 15, 20 minutes. Can't multiply one. Is a difference between traditional class than in Terrence's talking. He's bring another dimension. Okay, bring another dimension, three-dimensional or some kind of things into this one. So I believe the difference is...
Ryan Cooper says, I'm arguing with one on Facebook who says the patches on Katy Perry's suit are Baphomet. Here's the problem. Don't argue with people on the internet. No one wins. No one wins. No one wins. Not worth it. Never been worth it. That's the secret. It has never, ever been worth it. Ever.
Probably the definition and the model in our own mind, the difference. I do not believe fundamentally some kind of difference. If we have more time to discuss the detail, but not on the setting.
Yeah, no. And what I'm doing I'm contrasting the linear projection and attempt to multiply linearly,
hell,
just repeating,
man.
in comparison to multiplying
Multiplication is linear in the way that, what the fuck?
volumetrically. So you're right
Not exponential.
in adding dimensions. And these necessary dimensions are dimensions that you exist in. Nothing exists in a two-dimensional space. Even a three-dimensional, like you talk about one, it's just a waveform. It's able to affect.
Bring the audience on. So
Okay, I think we've watched enough of Terrence for today. We can move. Let's see what we're going to do next. Let's take a look at the bingo card real quick. We have a few spaces at least. We have... uses AI. We'll go with his shapes being spurious symbology as evidence. That's fine. Incorrectly believes evidence is self-evident. Vibes-based conspiracy. Shilling scamming. Word salad. Hannah puts head in hands. Misunderstanding of the scientific method. Yeah, we should definitely do my research said by a non-researcher for all of Terrence's stuff. Where is that? Am I crazy? Where's the my research? There it is. Oh yeah, scientism for the gravity worship claim. That's fair. 66, sure. Dimension beyond our own. If Terrence didn't say it, it's gonna say it soon. That's fine. Orion says, strictly for entertainment purposes and understanding their thought process in regard to the arguing with conspiracy theorists. I can kind of relate to that. I've talked to Peter, so I get it. Alright, I think that catches us up. How is Carrie doing? Medbed scammer. You know her. We've covered her before. Before you ask, there's no Zmoo. I'm sorry. I miss Zmoo too. I love Zmoo. There's no Zmoo. Believe me, the day Zmoo returns, there will be it'll be in the title.
Okay guys, it's Sky Prince here. Okay, I really do apologize having to put off the Q&A, Medbed Q&A this morning.
I don't know if you've noticed, but she kind of does the okay thing that Zmoo does, and I think that's just part of her speech patterns that she can't take out when she's doing the Zmoo thing. So notice that both her and Zmoo occasionally kind of do the okay, like, you know, just as a verbal tick. Weird that they share that.
Just not feeling great, but I do feel I need to say something about this, and it's really important. As a truther, some people have even called me an influencer, people have called me a leader.
And humble, too. Wow, a triple threat.
Being in that community, I see a lot. I don't respond to a lot, I don't, react to a lot, but I see it, I witness it. One thing I do see a lot of is truthers or people who are trying to spread awareness and truth, getting it out there to the public. I see them saying things, giving their opinion, their beliefs, and then a little while later, or sometimes immediately later, people jump on top of them. That's not true. This is not true. You said this before, now you're contradicting yourself. We have some people, some truthers, or who are classed as truthers, who are in it for the wrong reasons. They're in it to gain followers. They're in it to, set up GoFundMe accounts, to get donations. They're in it for themselves. If I can get a big following.
As opposed to her, who's never taken money from anyone. Sarcasm. Nerdy says, 2 of my favorite interview moments as a cleanse from whatever the fuck that was. My cousin once got to interview Guillermo del Toro and asked him why he keeps making tooth fairies evil. He pointed out that in Mexico they are evil, not giving kids money. Also, apparently Diego Luna was gifted his Andor blaster at the rap party, but when he tried to go through Heathrow Airport with it, security wouldn't clear it till he showed them a set photo of him holding it. That's so stupid. Clearly a prop. There's nowhere to put bullets.
Then I can get paid. I can get money. So I'll do what I can to make up stuff and go from there. But you do have the truthers and those who spread awareness who are actually doing it because they really want the best for humanity. And when they speak and do a video and give out information, they really are giving that information to the best of their knowledge, from their heart, their truth to what they know it to be. And we know this is war. We know it is the age of misinformation, and it's really hard to determine what is true and what's not.
It's not even ironic. It just makes me mad. She's just lampshading what she's doing right now. She's just literally, while she is scamming people and spreading misinformation for herself to make money, is without any sort of shame going in front of the camera and telling her followers, you need to look out and watch out for scammers. And I know this isn't uncommon amongst scams. Well, they will, you know, act as though they're your friend and warn you against other scams, you know? But it's still galling to me. It still disgusts me. I have no idea how these people live with themselves or sleep at night. All they do is take advantage of vulnerable people in pain. And it's just sick. So fucking sick.
It's really, really difficult. But what actually happens is we give the truths as we know it in the moment. After doing all the research, after, you know, getting all the information and everything, what resonates with us, we give it in the moment. That doesn't mean the next day that is still going to be true. Why? Because other things have happened since we've given that bit of information.
What an interesting justification. I wasn't lying to you. It was true when I said it. But soon after I said it, things changed and it became untrue. So I'm not lying to you. Fuck you, Carrie.
Other things have taken place, which means that what we said yesterday or a few hours ago...
You know, I don't know about you, but if I was in a situation where I kept telling my audience one thing was going to happen, and then it kept changing, I would stop saying things. Because clearly you have no idea what you're talking about, right? And that was assuming you're not even scamming them, which you are, so I know you're doing it intentionally. But even if we tried to imagine this from a perspective where this is all true and she's just trying to do her best, like, you would stop. You would stop making claims then if it kept changing.
...is actually no longer true. It's actually the opposite.
Terradona, the scammer, accept no substitutes.
And this is where we must respect each other. We absolutely have to respect each other. In these people, these truthers, put themselves on video. They put themselves out there in the public knowing that they're going to be bashed, myself included.
If you don't want to be bashed, stop lying to people.
We know this. We expect it. But what is...
We should come up with a term like this that is literally beyond gaslighting. How about we call it lying? You can call them liars. I think the problem isn't that we don't have a word for this, it's just that we've become so desensitized to lies that it doesn't even matter anymore. You know what I mean? Like, when someone is like bald-faced lying, does it even matter? There are no consequences. No one ever gets in trouble. So, like, what do you do?
The most important thing is understanding that what is true right now may not be true in the next few minutes because things change, things happen. This is where I'm witnessing a lot of bashing of truthers. I'm witnessing people jumping ship. Oh, I knew that person was always a fraud after you've been following them for years religiously. It's just a sign and a test of your character. If you can look through what a truther is saying, and if something that they've said is no longer true, and you go and bash them because they said something a few days, weeks, months ago, years ago, and now it's not true, and you bash them, oh, they said this and that wasn't true. Everyone is doing the best they can, except the few exceptions that just want followers and clickbait, deliberately putting out misinformation. Everyone's doing the best they can, really, including you. So it would be really nice and respectful if you don't all of a sudden jump ship and start attacking the truthers and pitting one against the other. Because
trying to shame her audience for calling her out on her bullshit.
It's not a competition. This is about working together as a collective. Okay? It really is about working together. It's not about who's right and who's wrong. It's not about who had the best intel or who's been giving misinformation. It's not about who's been...
I think it is, actually. I think that would be pretty important.
Or who's been, rewarded. It's about trying our absolute best to get the correct information in the moment to the people to help you get through.
That was a beep on her video.
This.
Yeah, we can have moves goalposts on the bingo card for her saying things keep shifting. Yeah.
It doesn't help.
I don't think we've had hypocrisy on the bingo card yet, but of course this is, so yeah, hypocrisy on the bingo card.
When a truther gets it wrong or says something that's not accurate. Remember, nobody knows the absolute truth. Not even you. Nobody. And the ones, well, there are a handful, but they don't talk for good reason. So consider getting those.
Why did you think her name was Sky? She's Carrie. Is there a Sky? Yeah, she goes by both names. She goes by Sky Prince Medbeds, and also Carrie Ann Thornton is like her real name.
People out of the
which is not doxing. She's been open about that.
No one knows the truth. We're all doing our best. So instead of jumping ship and then turning one truther against another and bashing them, either publicly or just in comments on posts, how about you do the right thing and you do the respectful thing?
Sky Prince is like her alien spiritual name,
Keep an open mind that maybe that truther is actually trying to...
Your mom gave you this speech after she sold your guitar for drug money.
And that what they said was true when they said it. Even more, if you really want the truth to get out there and you want more people to wake up, why don't you yourself start doing videos and become a public truther instead of sitting back in your armchair bashing those who are doing their best and judging them and sending them very nasty emails and messages and being a keyboard warrior. Why don't you put yourself in the public eye and give truth and do videos and help? Why don't you help instead of bashing, demeaning, belittling, all the other abusive things that many people, I will say most people, because...
This is fucking nuts, the way she's trying to turn this around on her audience, like that DARVO thing, like trying to actually, you calling me out for scamming is abusive. That's so fucked up.
It is most people that does it. Not all, of course, not all, but a large majority of people, as soon as a truther says something that they don't like or they don't agree with, they jump ship and bash them. It's just that unconscious part of the human mind that you are yet to tap into. So instead of doing that, turn your video on, your camera, point it at yourself, and start doing videos and help. Something to think about, okay? The next time, or from now on, every time I...
DARVO stands for, deny, accuse, reverse... victimize... I forget what the O stands for.
See somebody having a go at a truther or saying this person said this and it wasn't true, I'm going to say, well, put your phone on, put your camera on, turn it to yourself, and give us your thoughts.
Oh yeah, reverse victim and offender. Thank you, that's what it is.
It's not as easy
Deny, attack, reverse victim, offender
as it looks. And then maybe you will be able to receive some of what you give to others. And then maybe you might think twice about bashing someone for doing their absolute best and putting themselves in a near impossible position to help you. Does that make sense? I hope so. Just something to think about.
She sucks so bad. How dare she get on camera and say that stuff? I know it's not great for me to just get all indignant like that. What kind of content is that where I'm just like, this is wrong, I'm so indignant, but Fuck her. Like, she's just the worst. Oh, God. Ah!
My fingers are bored. They need something to do. What's that? I can tickle you? Yeah! Tickle, 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 tickle.
Oh, I forgot about this fucking guy. Moving on. How about this one? This one's about how this guy thinks everyone's wearing fake masks and has different identities and stuff.
Hyperflesh latex silicone skin mask. Sorry, I'm just gonna show you pictures. Don't hate me. I just show the reality of the real world. I am a realist, anti-hypocrite individual, human being, man. So I just want to show you these hyperflesh latex silicone skin masks. I'm just showing you photos, and it's up to you to do whatever you want with the information. You do not know me. You haven't seen this. I'm not showing you this. You're just living an illusion right now. You don't know me. I wanted to show you the boobs as well, but because they show the nipples, even though it's just skin mask, well, I'm not going to show it. Maybe I'm going to show the boobs in...
That one's not even real. That one's a digital effect to make it look like that's a mask of Hermione. Forgot her real name. Emma Watson. But it's like a... Once the head is on, it's like a deep fake, basically.
And a moment, and then you take off the mask. Hello,
That's funny that he bought that. I've seen that video before.
Actor, actress, actress. Even Trump said central casting. Do you know? Of course you do, because you're more intelligent than me. I'm just showing you these hyperflesh skin masks. Of course, there's nothing.
Yeah, just like Mission Impossible.
To see here. Just move along. I'm just showing you screenshots. I'm just being a good guy. I show you the reality.
This makes me think of the I think you should leave bit. There's too much shit on me. There's too much shit on me. I don't even want to be here anymore. Amber says, basically DARVO is the narcissist's prayer. That didn't happen. If it did, it wasn't a big deal. And if it did, it wasn't my fault. And if it is my fault, I didn't mean to. And if I did mean it, you deserved it. Yeah. Consistent blame shifting, basically.
Of the real world. Of course, you can move the lips. And of course, there's even more.
You dig this guy's vibe? That's not good. He's a Nazi.
Advanced than this. I want to show you what I can get to see as a common mortal. I'm a Mr. Nobody in this world, so I just my information is limited. Oh yes, this is for those of you we all like. Usually, I mean, we as men, we like all sorts of women of all races, right? In this case, Chinese.
This guy's always discusses his attraction to women in the weirdest ways that always feel like, ah, yes, men, we are all attracted to women, and when we touch their boobs, it's like a bag of sand, as we all know.
Chinese. I want to show you the boobs. Of the woman, but you can show the boobs of a guy on YouTube, that's fine, but if you show the boobs of the woman, you get banned. So I just want to, that's what the thing he lifts are the fake boobs, right? So I mean, there's nothing to see here. I'm gonna show. I get you understand the message, right? Of course you do. Hello, Mr. Actors, central casting. By the way, this is public information, you know? It's public, nothing is hidden. So what else can I show you? Yes, of course. Have you seen this? I mean, this has been around in Hollywood for many, many years. Do you know the Mission Impossible movies and all the sorts? I mean, we've seen this back in the 1990s. Yeah. Hello, why, you're going to ask the question, so why did you put this here? I mean, you kind of, let's go back. Do you understand? Of course you understand. Of course you.
So, of course, he's trying to imply that world leaders are not really who they are, but they're different actors and actresses cast and wearing masks to play these roles on the world stage.
You understand. I can tell you more, but... Oh, hello, Elon Musk. Let me do a zoom. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just showing you.
That's a necklace. I assume he's trying to draw attention to the line on his neck as though that's a divider where his mask stops. That's a necklace. even those photorealistic or realistic masks that do exist to some extent. They're not like he's claiming they are, where they look perfect, but there are like quite professionally done masks. Normally those go down here. They don't stop at the neck. Usually they go down a bit, and then you wear clothes over them so you don't see like a seam or anything. So that's not how this works, even if it was a mask. But it's not. That's a necklace.
The reality of the real world. I'm just showing you the reality of the real world. Do not, this is nothing. You don't see anything here. You do not see, you are not here. I am not.
That's his neck.
Here. White hat. Hello. Okay.
Musk has had gender-affirming care. I'm familiar with his hair plugs.
You probably want me to give you more explanation, right? Let's leave a photo. Which one is? I think this is good. Okay, I can speak about.
Why is the Nazi critiquing Elon? Because he's paranoid and doesn't trust anyone in power. And Elon Musk has power and proximity to power. So even conspiracy theorists that aren't necessarily ideologically opposed to the kind of stuff Musk is into still distrust him because, again, they inherently distrust power, kind of regardless of who is in it. So, yeah. Even though they might agree with certain things Elon believes, they find him suspect.
Clones also
Also pretty universally, conspiracy theorists are suspect of the Neuralink stuff because they connect it to the mark of the beast shit. So
doubles, also actors, good actors and bad actors. And I can speak about the white hats and the black hats. I can speak about robots.
Lennon Cat says, "You can't fool me. I've seen the documentary on these masks." Oh man, I liked white chicks as a kid. Wonder why.
And organic robots as well. But the most important thing is the hyperflesh. Because the other stuff is used, but less, and is more specifically used in specific situations. But the hyperflesh latex silicone skin mask, I can show public videos of what the white hats in the White House have shown to the public, and everything is public, nothing is hidden.
Am I crazy, or are they doing White Chicks 2? Did I have a nightmare, or are they doing White Chicks 2? Am I crazy?
The problem is, people are so used to go to YouTube and all these websites, and they like these, they like to, these conspiracies and alarming stuff, and instead of like just researching properly, and everything is public, and you find the reality of the real world, and they give us, thanks to the beautiful, amazing Trump administration, they gave us all the answers, and they made everything public on the internet and on X, which of course belongs to but not the original. Do you understand? Of course you do. Of course you understand. Do you believe, or as a person, as an intelligent person, do you think that the 10 years, the decade of terror that started in 2020, and we now should have been in the 5th year, 2025, until 2030, until year 2030, and everything got smashed by Operation Warp Speed. Do you think that was just coincidence? You should be grateful. I am so grateful now that I understand everything, how everything was stopped in 2020 and 2021. We only lived about a year, just the beginning of the full terror of the 10 years, which have been totally stopped. And of course, the Georgia Guidestones have been demolished. You know, those Guidestones would maintain humanity below 500 million people. Smashed, destroyed. I wonder who and how.
Some crackpot conspiracy theorist blew up a statue put up by another crackpot conspiracy theorist.
Wanted to show you the boobs, and this here the boobs as well. But you know, it's forbidden. YouTube, don't ban me. I didn't show the boobs. I just showed the boobs of a guy. You go to the beach and it's okay. But if you show the boobs of a girl, then it's not okay. Even though it's fake mask. Okay. I hope that my message is clear. I need to use sarcasm and humor, because if I don't, then I need to give some I can show you more if you want.
Deploy
Give me
the
likes to this video. I can
sarcasm.
show much more if you really want to. I don't know what people like, so I'm just trying my best here to give make ideas for future videos. Do you like the Elon Musk bit? Do you understand the message about Elon Musk? Do you think that the whole thing with Twitter and X was just coincidence? Oh man, if we would just read the reality of the real world, which is shocking in our faces and so good. I'm so grateful that I don't live those 10 years of terror. This should be the 5th year, and it's not. Oh gosh. And thanks to the Patriots and the Republicans and the White Hats. And not just for the US. I'm speaking about Russia.
Wow, the neo-Nazi is a fan of the Republicans. Crazy.
Here in Europe and many other places. But I don't expect people to understand, because I didn't understand. It took me a lot of time to research and to escape the mental diarrhea and escape all the disinformation online. It's hard. It's not something easy. So we can speak more about the doubles and the clones and the robotoids, and especially the hyperflesh latex silicone skin masks, which everybody knows about. Hey, do you know these guys? Do you know these guys? I'm not saying that every single time this was hyperflesh, okay? Don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to go into detail right now.
Jesus. Okay, let's move. Just tired.
Family, Starseed family, Warriors of Light, hear this.
Green guy with a $3 tip says, OMG, Freerin is on. Freerin? I don't know what that is.
Truth. The Persian Gulf is the epicenter of the holy war, cosmic war that is ensuing and playing out on this earth going back 500,000 years. And Qatar is its beating heart. Guided by some deeper insights that I've uncovered in my most...
Is this the racist Arthurian? Yep, that's her.
Recent Cosmic Grid update. Essentially, I've gotten to the root of the Black Sun agenda, the root of the Draconian Sumerian Empire. And Qatar, it is no more than a mere nation. It is a phalanx. It is a wand.
She said phalanx, right? Not phallus, right? I hope she said phalanx. Hold on.
It is a phalanx.
Sounds like she said phalanx, which is kind of between phallic and phalanx, so...
Is a wand of mass destruction. It is a tower of power thrusting itself into the Persian Gulf and...
Okay, no, okay, alright.
Into the root of the Archangel Michael ley line control systems and terror overlays on our sacred Earth grid. Come join me on April 22nd, 2025, where we are...
Riddle for you, what's the 5th color of the rainbow? And what should you do if you have a great hand in poker? Green. Indigo... Indigo... all in? Indigo all in?
We're going to rise the frequency of that grid, and we are going to shatter and dismantle this control system and reclaim the planet's soul. Okay, reclaim the sovereignty of this earth. This is our truth, and this is our call, and I hope that you hear this call to come and do this work with me, you guys. Links will be down in the description, because the 10th Stargate in Abadan, Iran, on the Iraq...
Blu-rays? Blu-rays. Blu-rays. Oh! Blu-rays!
Iran...
That doesn't count, because you made me say it.
Order holds...
I don't know poker. Or colors. I'm sorry I ruined your joke.
All of the hive codes of the Draconian Anunnaki Empire, and Qatar is its operation...
Blue, check into gambling addiction therapy. Janurdi says, cosmic thrusting in the Persian Gulf. She should have warned us before she started reading her new not safe for work Star Trek fan fiction.
Hub. It is the apex of headquarters. Here is where all of the hybrid bloodlines execute with precision predatory missions, stripping indigos, indigenous, angelic human souls of their land, of their culture, of their faith, ruthlessly, with no compassion and with a force of violent aggression. The Qatarian phalanx energy isn't random. It is connected to the planetary obelisk network, patriarchal domination codes, the Tower of Power broadcasting stations, all distorted with male root chakra signals. Here is where they control the Michael and Mary turnstiles with black spinning sun wheels across 16 Commonwealth nations. Canada, London stand, United Kingdom, and Australia all beaming that black heart virus, the first of the prey versus predator victims.
What?
This is where the black heart virus weakens the shields and scrambles the minds and hearts with distortion and an ability to unrecognize danger. The black goo of the intelligent evil that corrupts the soul spins in the spokes, oozing from the oil rigs, oozing from the dark sun symbols, spinning in the grid, all drumming up the power and the force from Qatar. Make no mistake, this is a command center of deception and the art of war, the art of deception. This is a draconian agenda. It harnesses
Reptilians on the bingo card. Draconians or reptilians?
all the power and seducing the collective and billions of souls into submission under their draconian rule. The black goo flows from the corrupted oil sales and all of the death portals that are opened up in their war zones and over their canals and routes that they fight
She's
for.
watched too much X-Files, and they're the shitty the mythology episodes too.
And infrastructure, fueling.
Is this a hot take? I hate the alien episodes, like the mythology, usually like the season openers or the series finales of X-Files. Hate that shit. I don't give a fuck about aliens. All the monsters of the week are the good stuff.
Unimaginable wealth. Qatar, Bahrain, and Dubai form the richest...
What did she say that was accidentally based? I missed it.
...triangle on the earth. And Draco doesn't want you to know its beautiful, vast riches. The trillionaires who profit from cosmic theft and thievery. This isn't speculation. This is the actual blueprint of control etched into the grid itself in the Persian Gulf. In the original cities of Babylon.
Her thesis is that oil bad. Okay, we can do accidentally based for that.
In the original cities of Sumer, where Enlil and Enki reigned. Where Enlil's army returns and is trained in the countries of Pakistan and Afghanistan. Qatar's influence is undeniable. What they have done, they have poured $1.3 billion into Texas A&M, undocumented, unreported funds that essentially compromise the minds of millions of Americans and academic freedom. We have to look into this. Over 502 research projects have been surrendered, all intellectual property to Qatar. Why is United States universities surrendering intellectual property to Qatar? This breaches all ethics. Why are
this breaches all ethics?
They giving $2 billion to Cornell University? This is screaming a national security threat. They are even funding right now, and many don't know this, right up underneath all Americans' noses, all of the K through 12 schools rewriting our curriculum here to essentially culturally erase Jewish and Christian history deliberately.
I fucking hate when they try to add the Jewish part to try and sound like they're not just Christian nationalists. Last I checked, I haven't seen a ton of Jewish people demanding we teach creationism or, like, holy texts in schools. God damn.
Tactic to sanitize their role in the global conflict, and nobody's talking about this. Embedding singularly pro-Islamist lies into young, fertile minds, taking over Texas, the enclaves of Islamic Texas. It's a trope.
The enclaves of Islamic Texas. New post-apocalypse D&D setting just dropped. the seventh Texas Caliphate. Benekagami says, fun fact, no one has been collecting Trump's tariffs, so already their incompetence is hindering their agenda. Woohoo!
Trojan horse in plain sight. It's simple as can be, and nobody is talking about it.
Praying to Mexis. That's pretty good.
How is Qatar able to fund our universities? How is Qatar able to fund our K through 12 education when they have...
Well, howdy there. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
How's the leaders of Hamas, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Osama bin Laden, okay? All these guys, they are harboring the world's most dangerous...
To be clear, I live in Michigan, by the way. Michigan has the highest concentration of immigrants or of either first, second, third generation, whatever. Muslim, we have the highest Muslim population in the country. I really wish she would shut the fuck up. Like, what are you talking about? I literally live in one of the highest concentrations of Muslims in the country, and it's fine. Like, what are you doing? Like... Stop treating people like shit.
Dangerous minds. All of these terrorist organizations are operating out of Doha and Qatar. This is the command center. They claim to mediate the wars between the US and Israel and Britain and Gaza and do all these things. They are the negotiators of the war.
Harold Edelman says, I can answer that for my university. In 2006, we got $65 million from Qatar's Sovereign Wealth Fund for a pharmacy pavilion because it would make George Bush look like an asshole for how stingy the Fed was being by contrast on the world stage. Makes sense.
On their terms, on their chilling, calm, and peacefully presentation, they are all in it for the draconian control. Orchestrating global chaos from within the deep shadows. And the deep shadows they are because nobody can see it. All these ties to Iran only deepening this treachery.
If this is all hidden, how do you know about it, ma'am? Benekagami says, God, so much conspiracy theories are just buzzword salads now, huh? I miss the days when there was an attempt to make sense to normal people. Yeah, they have a whole enclave of people now trained to just react emotionally to specific key phrases, so they just have to string them together. Yeah, they don't need to worry about pulling people in. There's other places that pull people into the conspiracy rabbit hole. This kind of content is for people who are fully on board.
Undermining the freedom of Western values at every
They're mining the freedom of Western values.
Single turn. Running the frequency of Takia.
The freedom of Western values to go bankrupt if you break a bone or give birth and you don't have insurance.
Their
undermining, sorry.
Wealth and their influence is masked as they run these sinister agendas tied to their oil corruption, tied directly to the black goo, the evil substance controlling negative AI on the planet.
The black goo thing is a reference to graphite, which conspiracy theorists are incredibly afraid of because they've been told to be afraid of it by other conspiracy theorists.
Everything that was done at these universities where all these pro-Palestinian things are happening, all funded by Qatar.
Bitch, fuck you. Maybe we just don't want a bunch of people fucking murdered and genocided, you goddamn shit.
All these groups. Okay? But we are the antidote. We are the truth speakers. We are the grid workers that come with clarity. We come with conviction. We come with solutions. And that is to work on this grid on April 22nd, 2025 at 2 p.m. CDT time. The grid work mission launches in Qatar remotely, so you can join from anywhere in the world. And I really hope you do come and reclaim the Archangel Michael ley line, how they've tapped the terrorist overlays over
Sorry, did I say graphite? I meant graphene, I think. Sorry.
this blue flame. Cleanse and purify the blue flame and blueprint. We will clear the Persian Gulf's dark entanglement and collapse the obelisk tech artificial signals. The Tower of...
We get it, ma'am. You'd like the United States to nuke the Middle East because you're racist and you want to couch it in a bunch of bullshit. It's not fine, but, like, you don't have to keep talking, at least.
Power and purge the black goo. We will neutralize the Black Sun's grip on the Commonwealth grids, on America, and clear those underwater Orion Draconian Stargate portals in the Gulf of Aden and all of the piracy and all of the amplifying warfare and bombing that is going on from the Garcia Diego base in those waters down there. You think that Mother Earth in those waters, the dolphins, the whales are not just screaming right now? We have to work with the earth right now in divine assistance and divine intervention, divine prayer.
The black sun a Nazi symbol? Traditionally it is. I assume she has co-opted it in a different way. I don't think she's using it in the typical way, because she's using it negatively, but I'm pretty sure she's like a ethno-nationalist. She's honestly probably worse than that. I think she's a Christian dominionist, but, I don't know.
Overlays, the Draco Terror overlays are running in Qatar. This is the Atlantean Pylon Implant Network Systems, hyped up on Ormus, times 1,000. Okay, so come and join.
What counts as conspiracy theorist tells on themselves? Basically, through what they say, they accidentally admit something.
This mission.
Admit something embarrassing. Sorry.
With me, you guys. I know this is a place that a lot of us...
Robert says, to be fair, Qatar is an evil empire, just not in the way she's saying. Oh yeah, I don't want to give the impression that I'm pro-Qatar. They use slave labor and, like, women don't have rights and gays don't have rights. Believe me, I don't like Qatar. But, she's talking about it from a completely nonsense woo-woo point of view that has more to do with racial or religious perceived purity, and it's just gross.
Haven't tapped into. This is a new revealing, a new revelation coming forward in terms of how the Dracos have positioned themselves in ways that we can't see coming in Trojan War code.
Oh, she mentioned Atlantis on the bingo card.
Codes coming through, embedded everywhere in the world. The Draco Clause. So we must work remotely and meditate.
The Draco Clause, anything like the Santa Claus? Like, if I put on a reptilian's molted skin, do I become a reptilian?
Send our truth, our restoration, our decrees, our affirmation, and clear that Archangel Michael ley line running all the way down through Doha, banishing these distortions and igniting truth, justice, and protection of the indigos, the indigenous, and the sovereign. Okay, the earth responds to this, guys.
She wants to protect what she considers indigenous peoples, but also she fucking hates Palestine and wants Palestinians wiped out. Jesus Christ.
Qatar's dark reign is being exposed. All of it is coming to the light right now, and their infiltration...
I think what makes this one more insidious is because she gives the veneer that she's, like, enlightened and peaceful, but, like, she's straight up advocating for, like, ethnic cleansing. Fucked!
Lies in their ability to master this ideological war. As long as people are docile, as long as people are uninformed, as long as people are not paying attention, as long as people are saying, oh, this doesn't affect me because it's not where I live and it's coming for your neighborhood. It's right around the corner. And this is not to spread fear. This is to
Why does she keep saying indigos? She's talking about, quote, indigo children. Basically, there's groups of people who don't want to admit that either themselves or their children are neurodivergent. So instead of recognizing that, they say, oh no, our child is an indigo child. They're like the next step in human evolution. Or they are like some alien hybrid and they have special secret abilities and that's why they behave differently.
Understand the intricate networks of the
it's starseed shit. It's starseed shit.
Draconian Empire and how it impales itself into us and beginning to unwind the draconian thread so that way the light will prevail. Revolution requires action. And it requires people to care. So yeah, I know everyone does care. I just feel like I have to say that, and I love you all so, so much. Links will be in the description. Join me, you guys. See you at the grid work mission.
I really don't like her. If I expressed that. Hope so.
Hello everybody, thank you for being here. My name is Tyler Ellison. I'm going to be delivering to all of you a Ryoke transmission, so I hope you enjoy. Sit back and relax.
The suspense is killing me. Wow. This is the longest ring I've ever had for like a channeling thing. Are they not at the phone? Oh, he rolled his eyes back. That means it's working, I bet. Come on, you got this. Pick a voice. Do it. Do it.
Be able to interact.
Oh, there we go.
It is our species' highest joy and passion to be able to interact with all of you through this particular...
Speaking of ableism, what was your vibe on the Black Mirror episode with the autistic coded character? I thought it came off as ableist. Are you talking about the one with Peter Capaldi? I guess I didn't get that vibe, but maybe that's me. I don't know. I just thought he was very isolated. He was an isolated person, which could certainly be seen as, like, autistic coding, but I don't know.
Particular channel. In this evening's transmission, we shall describe to you the idea of the different dimensions and how you can more easily conceptualize these different levels of consciousness and relate to them both internally as well as externally, because as you know, you are a microcosm. So the different dimensional levels that exist within you...
Oh, the one with the quantum computer lady? Oh. I guess I didn't consider it that. That was probably my least favorite episode of the season overall, so I didn't watch it with that thought in mind. I didn't read that coding myself. I'd have to watch it again. But I just overall didn't like that episode very much. The beginning was interesting, but it completely lost me at the end. I was just like, what? This doesn't even feel like a Black Mirror episode at this point. What are we doing? The rest of the season was great, though, and even that episode is perfectly watchable. It's just wasn't as good as the other episodes of the season, which were really, really good.
You are also present in what you experience as the external reality that appears to be around you. However, understand the inner and outer realities are technically one and the same. Now, understand, there are, from our point of view, 10 major dimensions. Now, there are technically infinite dimensions. However...
Then why did you say there's 10?
You can group dimensional levels together in a way that relates to the number 10. And through relating to
the end of the episode was terrible. Yeah, I don't understand how the ending of that related to any of the themes of the episode overall. Sorry, now I'm just talking about Black Mirror. Because, like, there were themes of, like, bullying and stuff, but that, I think, gets confused also, because, like, the person was, like, crazy and fucked up. I don't know.
dimensional levels that exist in such a way, you can then understand more easily how to expand and explore the infinite dimensional levels that exist. So, as you know, you have the idea of everything being one thing. And there is a certain level of that oneness that is not aware of itself at all. Within that level of oneness, there is no separation. Therefore, because there is no separation at all, there is no consciousness, there is no experience. And this level we call dimension 0. Now, there is a level of this oneness that is conscious, that is aware, that it is all things, that it is...
Okay, this guy's putting me to sleep. His voice is weird, but... Chemtrails on the bingo card. This is actually a bit of an older chemtrail video.
So I'm staying with a friend and I look out her beautiful window and I go, oh, that's great. Nice chemtrails. Oh, I don't want to hear that today. And then within like a span of 2 minutes, they wanted to go have a breakfast at this place because it was all organic. The eggs were organic, everything was organic. Except your sky. Your sky's not organic. You're worried about what you're putting in your fucking body. Well, I'm worried about what I'm fucking breathing. You're a hypocrite. I mean, you're
Ryan Cooper says, Fight the Flat Earth and MC Toon did a debate last night with some chemtrail people. It was quite interesting in how they always say, no, we're talking about other contrails that are chemtrails. Yeah, because they have to try and eschew the actual explanation of contrails because then they're just done. They want to believe it, so it can't just be the actual explanation. It has to be a distinct, separate thing that happens to look identical.
Pharisees. Your sky is not real, like your food. I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it. That's why I made a 13-minute video talking about it.
I do. Because if you care about what you put in your body...
If I ever say I don't want to talk about it and then I go on to talk about it, punch me in the face. Punch me in the face. You have my permission.
Must care about what...
Maybe start with a slap and then escalate to a punch.
You breathe.
We'll do a three strike system. Flick, slap, punch. We did it.
It's before the food. You can't tell me that's a contrail.
We weren't talking about Doctor Who, Phoenix. We were talking about a Black Mirror episode he was in.
You can't tell me that that right there is a normal cloud. They're all...
Man yells at clouds on the bingo card.
All the same thickness. It's all the same bullshit, thin, white smog veil that's square, angular, perpendicular, and parallel. Clouds don't shape in straight lines. I mean, is it gonna get to the point where everybody's got like tubes in their noses and doing asthma pumps and no one's noticing? Your clouds are square.
Clued, become a square, Clued. We solved it. He doesn't know that the square Clued guy is turning the Clueds square. So he doesn't know. We did it. We solved his problem. It's just that psychic guy turning the cloud square.
Your clouds are parallel. It's 30,000 feet in altitude. How is a cloud form into a straight line? I can't find a straight line in fucking nature in a tree or a rock. And that's hard, solid matter.
Yep, trees and rocks. Those are the only things. Don't look at... what about crystals? We don't talk about crystals.
This is gas. How's it forming in a straight line, a cloud? Contrail. No, it's not. child.
Nuh-uh! And then I call you a child.
You have a childlike mind. Scientist, global warmer, Greenpeace activist, worried about carbon emissions. Oh yeah, since when? Since when has it spiked? Oh, it's been going up. Okay, do you have the first recording of the Earth's carbon content in the atmosphere? No, you don't.
You can measure it other ways. You can measure the carbon content through ice core samples. That's one way that they do it, from areas of permafrost. I think certain very old trees can be helpful in determining that as well. But yeah, there are ways that they actually measure that. I think one of the main ways is like ice core testing in the Arctic. I think that was actually one of the ways they figured out that the content of lead in the air... Excuse me. I actually think that ice core testing is how they discovered that the lead in the atmosphere had gotten to such a high amount and led to helping ban leaded gasoline.
Brainwashed through a box screen.
Hannah has lead in her lungs. I'm a millennial. I don't have lead. I have microplastic. Before I die, I'm gonna look like the Santa Claus, evil Santa from the Santa Claus 2.
There's another one. I mean, they're gonna blame this on La Nina? Are you... This is double time. That's not even a manned plane now. They're at the point they're drones. It's been going on all morning. I stopped and pulled over so I could fucking point it out to you. There's no La Nina. There's no storm in Chicago right now.
Yeah, I think he means La Nina.
They're making it. Your food's artificial. Your water's got fluoride. Your air's got God knows what until the fucking government gets called into court. I want to eat organic. Oh, look, there's chemtrails. I don't want to talk about it. Let's go eat some real... Idiot. Your fucking air is not organic.
I need to find more of this guy. This guy's fucking hilarious. Who is this man? Matt. The fuck is his name? Matt something. He was mentioned in the Behind the Curve documentary. What is his full name? Stone Corbell says, fun fact, La Nina stands for the Nina.
You're a waste.
What's the difference between La Nina and El Nino? Is El Nino the bad one?
I ain't gonna be around here when the shit hits the fan and you guys don't know what's going on. And you think ISIS did it. Unbelievable. This is happening.
No, I understand the gender. I'm saying that they're called... You think I was asking about the conjugation? No, I'm not asking about the conjugation. I'm asking about the fact that a weather pattern is called El Nino and a different one is called La Nina, and I was asking what's the difference of the weather patterns. I'm aware of conjugation in Spanish. Thank you for the Spanish lesson, though. I appreciate that you guys thought I was asking about that.
Over highways, people...
Oh, I was asking this the other day, and I didn't know an answer, so I'm asking chat. Can you conjugate sarcastically in Spanish? Like, if you were trying to, like, if you were, like, a dude bro, and you were trying to, like, call your friend, like, you're a girl, would you conjugate sarcastically feminine at them? Is that a thing? I was just curious.
People drive on right and the left side is just forest, and they're not doing these airstrikes, dropping these chemistries, these unknown chemistries. So this is directed at your anatomy. They're going to create
El Nino warms the ocean, La Nina cools. Thank you for the
a violent chaos around this world with this bullshit stage terror group called ISIS, where
that's what the tilde means, right? The tilde means you like. Wait, no, that's not a wait. Nina, El Nino. I can't do the rolls. Oh, there was one. I did it.
Opened up the stopgap on the fundamentalist psycho violent male, and they're arming them so they can go around and have an excuse.
Thank you, Jay's a proxy.
So they can have these skirmishes and these blurred lines between borders of nations, so they can have some friendly fire on Chinese soldiers. And
Hamas is suing the UK government. That's kind of funny.
Chinese soldiers hitting Russians, and oh boom, we're suddenly, you know, Franz Ferdinand World War III scenario. Bullshit.
Did you just say a Franz Ferdinand World War III scenario? Who's Franz Ferdinand in this scenario?
And while they're all pitting armies against armies, and the power grid goes out and they blame it on ISIS, and then everybody's just begging for Chinese and Russian boots to come and do a humanitarian invasion, and anybody sees through it is going to be considered a terrorist, a domestic terrorist. That's their plan. But the people who see through it are just patriots. This is a Trojan horse invasion under the guise of humanitarian relief because ISIS hit the power grid. And those people are going to be labeled by CNN, MSNBC, and leaflets as terrorist organizations. No, they're patriots that saw through the game. And while there's chaos around the world, then the planes.
How old is this video? I actually don't know. It was uploaded recently, but it doesn't say when the video was originally from. I had to guess a decade, maybe? That's just a guess based on the footage itself. Like, this feels like maybe a 2010 video. Did he say at the start 2016? Later than I thought.
And then you all drop like flies. What happened here? I don't know if it was the Russians. I don't know if it's... We're in war. It's them. They're going to create this World War scenario so they can basically gas you like
That's true. That is almost a decade ago.
Fucking roaches. You can call me crazy because you're a child who's scared. I'm trying to rock your world here. Okay?
Where did this guy go? He's got such a personality. Like, I'm surprised he's not more popular. Did he, like, ruin his own fucking career or something? Benekagami says, so smog and car emissions that will kill you from exposure, that's a fake concern. Is conspiracy bullshit that's easily explained, end of the world. Got it. Yeah, they're special. That's the important part. Stone Corbell says, if this was pre-COVID, I can only imagine what he's like now. Oh yeah, no kidding.
This is really going on. I don't have a special effects budget. I pulled over my Volvo, my crappy car, with all my fucking paint, because I'm the only one notices that those aren't real clouds, because I grew up with real clouds, and real clouds aren't...
I grew up with real clouds. These are different.
Straight fucking lines that are parallel next to each other. There's another strike right over there. See it? They're striking, and I'm dissolving this.
They strike and strike and strike and strike. Angels are coming from Africa right now. Africa right now. Africa right now. Strike and strike and strike. Does anyone remember? No? Okay. I sound crazy. Good.
Shit. With the power of my tongue. Right now, this shit isn't working because I'm saying anything that it is not of God's will.
I need to pull that up in case anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about. What is her name? Paula what? Paula White? This is Trump's spiritual advisor, at least she was. I don't know if she still is, but she was during the last administration.
And angels have even been dispatched from Africa right now.
Africa right now.
Africa right now. From Africa right now. They're coming here. They're coming here. In the name of Jesus, from South America. They're coming here. They're coming here. They're coming here. They're coming here. From Africa, from South America. Angelic forces, angelic reinforcement, angelic reinforcement, angelic reinforcement.
We're doing great as a nation. I know you're being sarcastic, but boy, are things grim.
For I hear the sound of victory. 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 I hear the sound of victory.
The term lunatics running the asylum rings for me. On the bright side, oh fuck, well I was gonna say it anyway. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is coming out on 4K later this year. So that's good. And it mentions Blu-rays on the bingo card.
Or creation, please protect me and and dissolve it from
I hope I end up like Jack Nicholson's character at the end of that movie. I'll be so rested.
my presence. And I repeat that over and over again, and this shit disappears. That's the trick. In the name of God, the Creator, please protect me from all that is not of your will nor your creation. And it's gonna go blue over my
Hey,
head.
Mystic Dragon. Hope the ad breaks over so you know I'm saying hi.
With a bratty little confidence.
Did you just say bratty confidence? I have that in spades. You have no idea.
Repeat that with
Don't say that. Hannah regrets what she just said on the bingo card.
confidence. With a bratty little confidence. But I'm disappointed the rest of you aren't. I'm disappointed the rest of you don't even notice that your hair is fake, but your food is. Who is the wicked? The people doing this? Or the chicken shit vermin worm who wants to go look for an organic Greek salad and to talk about how they're vegans, but omit everything above their eye line as fake. Fake is the new F word. Okay? They're faking with you. They're faking you up.
No, I don't think he's mentioned 9/11 yet, Orion.
The whole thing is faked. It's a big fake you. Fake off. This is a fake off. On your marks, get set, fake off.
What is this, free writing? You just fucking free associating, man? Have a point.
Go fake yourself. With your eyebrows tattooed, your fake tits, your collar.
Holden Caulfield energy? No kidding. Everyone's a phony but me.
Go fake yourself. With your eyebrows tattooed, your fake tits, your collagen lips.
Excuse you? My tits are real. I paid good money for these hormones, you fuck.
Fake.
Thank you, Mystic Dragon, and also hello. You said hi during the ad break, and I don't know if you saw that I said hi back. Also, random everyone, Monday I have my appointment to get a consult for my orchiectomy. Excite!
Fake. Then you're gonna go eat some real bread? Under your fake sky? The sky's falling today. Where were you? You missed the whole fucking thing. 360 degrees of it. Bullshit, GMO, air.
What's that surgery? Removal of the testicles. Because A, I don't want to take my T blockers anymore. Overthought, thanks for gifting a sub to Mystic Dragon. And secondly, I'll never have to worry about the government trying to take my hormones away and me reintroducing testosterone to my body. I would rather sleep. Can't say that. Black's Law Dictionary. What do you want me to look up in the thing? Fake? Cool beans. Will do.
Yeah, you're gonna eat real food, but guess what? It's raining fake rain on your fucking crop. Oh, I don't eat pesticides. I look for the codes for, I stay away from No. Oh, no pesticides, herbicides. They're spraying herbicides and fucking pesticides. They're fumigating you and your kids.
They're not. Please calm down.
You got you all on pumps. I mean, how fucking stupid are you?
Watching this video. So pretty stupid.
Call me crazy. I am enraged by this. Join me. I'm not gratuitously swearing. Okay? Faking with you. Faking up your life. Telling me to fake off.
Fake, to make or construct falsely. A faked alibi is made, manufactured, or false alibi, something that is not what it purports to be. Counterfeit, an imposter. See counterfeit forgery.
I'm telling you to wake up. Not fake out. You guys are all faked. You're faked. Unless you realize all of this above your eye line is fake, including the pictures of space. I mean, is it that bad? Is it that bad that, you know, all your ideas?
He's got the energy if Bill Burr was an idiot. You know what I mean? He's got the same, like, kind of frustrated routine, but, like, this guy's a fucking idiot, you know?
Of the universe and space is fake, that when you're amidst, you know, the overwhelming,
Who's filming this? Who knows?
Responsibility of
not on a tripod, because you can see the sway of the camera.
Looking up to see if clouds are what they used to be, you're in denial. I mean, did the paintings from the box, thinking inside that little picture box, program your brain at that point? You don't even know what's real. You have some serious mind control right now, because you're going out looking for real food while fake fucking rain is landing on it, and you think there's no chemicals on your fucking vegetables. You're an idiot. You're a fluoridated idiot. I don't care if you hate me. If you hate me...
I find it funny, too, because, like, even though this guy's a conspiracy crackpot, presumably he drank, you know, tap water or bottled water his whole youth. So if he's calling us fluoridated as if it's a bad thing, it's not. Fluoride in water is a good thing. Fluoride scaremongering on the bingo card, by the way, or chemical fear-mongering. Yes, and fake sky. He would also have drank a bunch of fluoride as a kid, so it's kind of funny that he's acting like he's exempt from that. Fennikagami says, think he gets this angry about kids starving to death or cops gunning down kids? No, I don't think real things excite him.
I'm doing something right against the faking wicked who are faking the whole planet and faking it up for everybody. You're all gonna be faked if you don't wake up. They're gonna have a war. They're gonna hit the power grid. They're setting it up that they're on.
Are captions possible for Twitch streams by chance? I don't know if it's on. I don't think so, at least not live, but there is on Microsoft, on Windows, there's a live caption tool you can use to add captions to anything. It is, like, auto captions, so it might not be perfect, but it's usually alright, so you could find that in your Windows settings.
On the loose in the U.S., and the whole thing's gonna go down, and then boom, no power. Oh, we need somebody to help us. Oh, the Russians. Thank God the Russians. What a great way to invade.
Not Microsoft Word, it's just a thing on Windows. It's, if you go into your search bar, you could type in, live captions. Yep, live captions, and it'll be the first option.
A nation as a foreign enemy. Come in to fucking turn the lights on. Fake, fake, fake. They invaded the White House, they invaded Washington, they invaded all three separations of powers, the legislative, the judicial, and the Congress and the Senate. With a shadow...
Wait, what? Did he just say the legislative, the judicial, and Congress and the Senate? He doesn't know what the branches of government are. The legislature is the Senate and the House. So that's the legislative, and then the judicial is the courts, and then the third branch is the executive that he didn't even mention. What? He's a dipshit.
Triangulation of the Council of Foreign Relations with its lower house, the Trilateral Commission, the Federal Reserve replaces the judicial, and the legislature is the CIA. If you're not mad, you're not paying attention. If you think I'm crazy, get out of university, go back to kindergarten, and suck a thumb and get your pump. Because this shit ain't gonna stop until you get fucking mad in Nevada. Aaron Russo got fucking 6 tumors in his fucking colon because he spoke out and he got mad as hell. Well, I got all the mustard and piss and vinegar that guy had and any other fucking revolutionary that ever lived. You think you're gonna take me down with your fake infiltrators in my real revolution about what's real and what's fake? Your cloud is fake. Your sky is fake. You're looking at the TV a little too much. Turn off the football and look at your kid. He's coughing and he's fucking bleeding from the ears. Enjoy your La Nina. Enjoy it.
Well, that guy's incredible. I need to find more of him. What's his name? Matt something. See if I can find him. What is his name? Matt something. Not that Matt. What the heck is his name? Matt? Does anyone recognize him? I know he's a conspiracy guy. At least he used to be. What was his name? Gives CC vibes a bit, doesn't he? What is that guy's? Hey, Lupin. How's bingo going? No one's got bingo yet, surprisingly. I think we're done for the day. I'm gonna stop a little early, because the whole reason I had to, stream early is because, we have those roofers coming today. It should be done after today, though. So don't worry. Wait, hold on. Jay's a Proxy says, according to Annenberg Public Policy Center, University of Pennsylvania, 65% in our survey could name all three branches of government, executive, legislative, judicial. 15% could not name any. I mean, that's better than I thought, so that's good. Anyway, I'm going to gift the sub randomly since it seems like nobody won. So I will do a random gift sub real quick. Please just let me do one. There we go. Giving me options for like 50. What am I, made of money? There we go. Veruzen, you win the random gift sub. That's cool. All right, let's see who we're going to raid. Like I said, I work all day tomorrow, so unfortunately I cannot stream tomorrow. But the good news is after that, I have like a week off. A little over a week, actually. I think more like 9 days where I don't work. So we can just do this most days. We will be streaming every day after tomorrow, except for Monday, I believe, which is my electrology appointment. So we'll have a week full of fun streams. We'll do some longer ones because we have the time and I won't be tired because I won't be working. And yeah, it should be fun. I'm really glad I got to hang out with you guys today. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of in a shitty mood earlier, but stream usually makes me feel better. So thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate all of you and you choosing to spend your time watching stuff with me. I know there's a lot of choices online, so thank you. We'll raid Surus. Alright. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. I'll see you soon. I'm gonna go make some wraps, because I am hungry. Alright. Night, everyone! Adios. Everyone be cool if you're on YouTube, like the stream, and comment if you're watching the VOD. Thank you. Have a good night, everyone. Love you too, Mr. Blast. Good night!